Yeah, I've definitely heard of the term white privilege before, specifically on Twitter.
The phrase white privilege, used by the media after recent events such as the riots and protests in Ferguson, Baltimore, and other cities across the U.S.
I don't want to be like, if it wasn't for Twitter, I wouldn't have heard about it, but it probably would have been like a later process.
The hashtag white privilege is now trending on Twitter, making the issue more well known.
And white privilege is, because we are the dominant culture, we experience privileges, and certain privileges because of the color of our skin.
It doesn't make me feel any less than, what I am.
Yeah.
Lisa Mitchell, the director of Partners for a Racism-Free Community, or PRFC, says some examples of statements from someone with white privilege may be
Like, oh, why are we still talking about race? That would be a statement that clue you in that there's some white privilege going on. Or, oh, now we have a black president in the White House. Why are we dealing with this?
Linda Quist, the Director of Finance and Development at PRFC, says as a white person living in America, she unknowingly uses her white privilege every day.
I never got pulled over in 2 years of driving there, and I was speeding every day because I was late every day. But I would see almost every day somebody was pulled over, and it was never a white person.
Quist says another example of white privilege is to not have to worry about being followed in a store.
Even Oprah Winfrey was followed in a high-end clothing store because they didn't recognize that she was Oprah, but it was because of the color of her skin. You and I are never going to experience that.
Charles Johnson is a front desk manager at the East Lansing Marriott, and he says he's been a victim of racial profiling while shopping in an expensive store.
I happen to like Burberry, so I walk into the store, and most people would be greeted, right at the door, and sort of, had their hand held as they walk through the store as potential buyers, and I would walk through, go to the front, walk through the back without being greeted.
However, he, along with MSU sophomore Tyrese Brewington, say they're just used to this treatment.
I mean, it doesn't, I think I'm pretty immune to it at this point, just because, I don't think it really bothers me that much, but I don't know, I just don't pick up on it as much now because it's,
Blacks aren't the only ones who have to struggle with this. Quist uses those from the Middle East as an example of those who were targeted after 9/11.
You can be pretty assured as a white person that you're not going to be stopped and frisked. You're not going to get into that altercation. People are not going to judge you as an example of your race.
But people like Quist and Mitchell from PRFC want those of color to know this isn't just their battle.
We feel compelled, I feel compelled to work towards eliminating it.
It's a battle that has taken place for quite some time, a battle Johnson wants to end.
I have a niece who's 10 years old. I don't want my niece to grow up thinking about, her being a young little black girl. She just needs to worry about being a girl.
Encouraging those to remember America's past.
9/11, never forget. Holocaust, never forget. But get over slavery? Again, that's white supremacy and white privilege.
Quist and Mitchell are working to educate others on why white privilege exists.
I don't know if it exists or not. A lot of people think it does, but I don't know.
And how to work toward a world without it.
What we should be looking to move towards is a life in a society where those prejudices are not there.